Welcome to Engage, everybody. This is our last day of doing the AWE tours. We've had a pretty full house. Looked like a little bit of a lighter crowd today, but these are all the insiders. We've got some awesome guests here with us today. Let me go ahead and mute everybody. We don't get any of that interference. Great. So, Daniel Bryant is one of the co-founders of Educators in VR. We're going to go to one of his spaces and have him talk a little bit about what he's doing in the VR space with Engage. We have Alex from River, who River is one of the leaders in photogrammetry, and they're using photogrammetry for trainings and all kinds of cool things. And we're going to get a chance to see some of his work here in Engage, and he's going to talk a little bit about what their company's doing. We also have Felix from Colorado and University of State College in Colorado, and they're doing some veterinarian work on the platform. So we're going to stop in and we're going to see some of the animals. Happy Lass, welcome. Happy Lass, also from the UK. Good to have you here. And who else do we have here that's giving a presentation? We might have another special guest that's going to be dropping in. We also have Michael from Gold Lotus. He is a master at language acquisition using VR. He's just doing a quick change. He'll be back a little bit later. So first things first, remind me, Daniel, once we get going, I need to give you guys all co-hosts once we get to your segments. So Engage is used for a variety of things, from just straight up meetings, hanging out, doing business meetings, to events, to classes, and even events. We just did this huge event with HTC that many of you know about. We had over 700 concurrent users for that. It was amazing. Over the course of multiple hours, we had around 1,500 concurrent users and 1.something million viewers on the live stream, which was amazing for us. We've also done other big conferences with Daniel Bryant's group, Educators in VR. A massive 6-day conference, 24/7, tons of volunteers helping that work out. It was absolutely insane, and thanks for that, Daniel. So lots of activities going on in Engage right now, and we're excited to see where everything goes. So what I want to do today, we're going to have lots of presenters, but I want to cover just some of the quick basics of what this platform does. So one thing that you need to have happen in a VR setting is the ability to manipulate objects. So we have what's called an IFX system, where you can download objects into this system. We've got about 1,500 examples in our tablet right now, where you can pull those out, manipulate them, scale them, build sets, save those sets for classes, special effects, sound effects. You can bring it all in and really make this your own platform and manipulate it how you want. And let me just show you how that looks. I'm pulling my IFX. We were talking to Lita here in the audience earlier, and she was indicating that she was from Greece. So I'm going to open up my Greece section here in the tablet and just start pulling out some objects. So we've got a Greek statue here. And like I said, you can scale those babies up and down. We'll put her here. You know, I can bring in Greek pillars. We'll lay that one down. You know, it's that easy. You just reach into your tablet and just start pulling stuff out. Oh, I love this arch here. Here we go. And let's go ahead and pull out one of my favorite assets, the elephant or the fox. I really like the fox as well. Let's pull out the fox. There we go. You can see that you can really puppeteer these objects as well. I can make that fox just strut up and down the stage, run around. You know, maybe he wants to crawl up the arch there, and we'll put him up on the top. And you know, I'm going to be commenting on this throughout the tour, that a lot of people ask, well, why VR? How's it any different than just having two screens stuck to your eyes? It's like watching a television up close. You guys all know the answer to that, but many people viewing this stream might not know. Well, one of the fascinating things about VR is it allows us to, you know, hold objects in our hands and look at things, you know, from any perspective, full 6 degrees of freedom. You know, I can crawl under this arch, look up underneath it. It's that ability to interact with space. And you know, when you have an object that's a ways away from you, your brain filters out most far away objects unless it's moving, unless it poses a danger, or it just stands out and is a contrast to your environment. However, When any objects come within our grasping zone, our brain kind of kicks into a higher gear where we're paying more attention to it. It almost demands our attention. And then when something actually gets within a space where we can reach in and grab that object, our brain kicks into its highest recognition gear where you're seeing details in there that you just won't see unless you're grabbing the object. When we implemented that grasping feature in Engage, I actually asked the development team if they'd done something different with the models because they looked that different to me. I was noticing things I'd never noticed before. So there's one thing you can do in VR that you cannot do in any other medium, that ability to grasp, bring things in for close evaluation like this. Okay. I can save this scene that I built and bring that back at any time, not only in this environment, but any of our other environments as well. All right. Let me go ahead and get rid of those. And let's talk a little bit about media. Even though we're in VR, we still might want to access media, you know, videos, PowerPoints, these sorts of things. So in some ways, we are replicating reality, but the nice thing about VR is when we do access screens, we can have as many screens as we want. We can make towering screens the size of a building. Let me just show you quickly what it looks like from a media perspective. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I should note that one of your best friends is in Engage is the web app. When you log into engagevr.io, you can access your personal web app. You can add video links. You can add web links. You can set up your OneDrive or any cloud drive account to be accessible so you can pull down your PowerPoints and pictures and all of that. So in this case, I'm going to go into my media, which I've already set up in my web app, go into my video links, and let's pull up a video. And while this video is playing, I'll just pull up all kinds of different screens. Here we go. I'm going to go into my video screen category, and let's start playing.
What is real?
Let's bring up a curved screen.
If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell.
How about a TV on a stand? I like to use this one when I'm doing my computer work.
Signals interpreted by your brain.
Another TV stand. Maybe I want a video that covers
the way we perceive the world is the
entire
sense organs and our motor organs. We're constantly interacting with the world to perceive it. And virtual reality is just an art form.
Maybe I want a little personal screen.
Interaction. It's all about reality.
Or one that I can hold in my hand. I like this one. In fact, I'll hand that over to Alex here. Alex, you can actually grab that one and use that for your own purposes. There you go. Perfect. Little personal screen. Let me give one to someone in the back there as well.
This is really, this is it. This is the seminal point.
Oh, Kirsten, there you go.
There's a reasonable chance that out of this will explode all of the wearable computing gaming stuff
grab that.
that we've been treating as science fiction for so many years.
So there you go, guys. You can do pretty much whatever you want as far as media goes.
For the first time, we will finally be inside of the game.
All right, go ahead and eject that. And let me show you what a PowerPoint looks like. So I've hooked this up to my OneDrive account. I'm going to go into my content, or I'm sorry, my media, and go into my OneDrive account. And let's pull out an old slideshow I had from a couple of years ago, the birth of consumer VR. And there you go. It's just that easy. Let me go to present mode. I literally just touch my screen to go to the next slide. It's that easy. And I want to show you what the lag time looks like on this. A lot of people complain that sometimes in VR, you get a lot of lag when you're going and presenting a slideshow. I'm going to show you how quick this responds. So at the count of 3, I'm going to touch my screen, and I'll be curious to see how quickly this changes over for you guys. 1, 2, 3. It didn't even work for me. Hang on. Here we go. Of course, when I'm presenting it, my slides freeze up on me. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, froze up on me again. See, Connor, it's because you got the camera on me. It should be under a second for a slide to change for everybody in the same room. Mark Zuckerberg, you guys remember that from a few years ago? That was actually a crazy event that Samsung put on. 1, 2, 3. That should have changed very quickly for you guys. Did that change quick for you guys? Like within a second after I touched it? Awesome. And one last time, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Cool. I can also share my desktop with y'all. There's my desktop at home right there. It's that easy, so I just grab a keyboard and a mouse, and I can just drive you guys as though I'm just showing you at my home. Let me show you another feature that we have, which is called our spatial capture system or projected presence. So with this gives us the ability to capture everything that's happening in this VR space. When I hit that spatial recording button, I can choose whether to just record myself or others or everything that's happening in this room. And when you do a spatial capture, it's much different from doing a video recording, meaning I can literally rewind time and step back into the event that I recorded as though I was present there the first time. It's literally replaying everything in 3D. So you can imagine what that means for trainers, educators, doctors, etc., where I can get up here and I can give a presentation, doctor that up in our editor with all kinds of 3D effects, put it up in the library for consumption, and people can feel as though they're watching me give that event as though they were there present with me when it happened. Let me show you how that looks. Let me get rid of these IFX here first. Okay, so I'm going to go into my recordings. I'm going to do a new recording. We'll simplify that, call that recording A. And it's going to give me a 5-second countdown. We'll bring in a prop as well, just to make it fun. All right, so here I am. My name is Chris Madsen. I'm business developer for immersive VR education, representing North America. And it's great to have everybody here. And those who are attending the AWE conference, it's great to have you all here. Thank you so much. And everybody enjoy their weekends. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop that recording now. Save it. Let's get rid of that elephant. There we go. And I'm going to go into the recordings and play that back. So load, recording A. And I'm going to put it in an advanced option because I'm going to do something kind of cool with it. Here we go. As well, just to make it fun. All right. So here I am. My name is Chris Madsen. I'm business developer for immersive VR education, representing North America. And it's great to have everybody here. All right. I hope everybody's seeing this recording here of myself. So I'm now basically a perfect hologram. Lita, I'm worried about you. Can you see it? Raise your hand if you can see this. No way. I'm thrilled. Awesome. So because I brought this in as an IFX rather than a standard recording, I can do some really cool things with this. Like, I can play all kinds of games, scale that baby up, or even shrink myself way down and give a presentation from the podium here on top of the podium right there. In fact, here, let's check this out. It's like having my own little figurine, right? And let me play that again. Here we go. And those who are attending the AWE conference, it's great to have you all here. Thank you so much. And everybody enjoy their weekends. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop that recording. Cool. And again, guys, the whole point of this is not only just to record, but also to use those recordings in editor, because I can record an IFX. Like, let's say I want to puppeteer that elephant around. Rather than spending insane amounts of time creating an animation, I can puppeteer it, record that IFX, bring it into the editor, and I've got my animation all ready to go. I can actually do the puppeteering in the editor itself, and it will create those thousands of keyframes automatically for me. It makes people like myself, I've got a background in behavioral science. I'm not a developer, programmer. It allows people like myself to be able to create virtual content as easy as a PowerPoint. And that's really the idea, is making these tools easy enough for everyone to use. So before we jump to our next space, I'm going to show a quick 3-minute video of my first project that I ever put together over the course of a Sunday afternoon. And I'll show you how really easy it is and how compelling something like that can be. Here we go. And I am going to put this on pause for about 30 seconds just to make sure it's all loaded for everybody before I get it started. Okay, I'm going to pause that. Some of you may already be loaded. Once you get loaded, you're going to see a 3D sphere of planet Earth here, and it should stop saying that things are loading. Does everybody have the sphere? Does anybody not have the sphere? There's a better question. Does anyone not have a sphere? Okay, this is going to be interesting, Lita, for you, because this is the same sort of thing I'm going to be doing with the river stuff as well. So I don't know why it might not be working for you. Anyone else not seeing the sphere at this point in time? Anton's still downloading. You see that it's loading stuff, Anton. Is there any words appearing? Okay, excellent. Good, good, good. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And Anton, even if you're not quite loaded yet, it should kick in very quickly in a few seconds in. Here we go, guys. If you're not hearing audio, you need to go into your Windows settings and set your headset for input and output in your audio settings in Windows. All right, fun times. Okay, Daniel, I am going to make you co-host now because I know you have a limited time here. You are now co-host, my friend, if you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I love that one.
So one thing I just wanted to point out, we're going to be doing a lot of media here today. If you didn't hear the audio on that, sometimes Windows defaults back to Windows settings. You need to go into your audio settings and set input and output to your headset if you didn't hear anything. Did that fix it for you, Alex? I saw you moving around there. Awesome. Okay. Daniel, let's cruise on over to the moon base. Educators in VR, man. Let's do it. Okay. Here we go, guys. We're going to transfer over. Your screen's going to go dark for just a little bit. We're going to take you to a custom environment. Here we go. $10 minutes and just
okay, it'll be
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it'd be 6 or 7, but thank you so much, man.
All right, you
Thank
betcha.
you. I'll wait till everybody comes in. Are we all here? Morala, 1 more 2. Happy Last dropped. Michael dropped, I think. Wonderful.
Looking pretty good here.
Looking good. Welcome to the moon base, which was built by the Engage team. Was it Michael McDermott? I think it was
Mike
Michael
McDermott and his team. Yeah.
Right. And you guys made this specially for the summit we held in February. And if you haven't heard of that, I don't recommend trying to do a 6-day, 24-hour conference in VR. As cool as it was, I don't recommend it. It was a bit nuts. So this is what I think this is my favorite place in VR, because I get to come and look at the planet here. We have our very own base here that we can brand up. Chris helped us brand it up. And yeah, we run bi-weekly events here now. We're coming regularly to Educators in VR. Educators in VR is started as a community of just anybody in this space for education and training. We were amazed by how many people joined. I think by now we have 1,500 members from all walks of life, from all levels of the industry, grassroots, newcomers, right up to Engage themselves. And it's so exciting to see how many people are innovating and trying things out. And so this has become a bit of a home for people to share and collaborate. And we come here. So once you come on inside the inside the event space itself, and we can take our suits off as well. Just you got to push through the airlock there, and then
I'll summon those people who might not know the controls very well.
Lovely.
Here we go.
Lovely.
Boom. There we go.
Boom. Fantastic. I haven't tried that one yet. I have to play around with that a little bit. So yeah, grab a seat, have a look around if you want. I would offer you coffee, but we're still working on that. The dev team is working on that. Oh yeah, Chris has got coffee. You should never challenge Chris to a VR prop. He's always he'll get you to it.
Here's your coffee, Dan.
There you go. Okay. Thank you so much. Much better. Can use a bit of that. Keep me up at night. All right. So I can put that down there. And then nice little feature here. I have a little display what's showing on at the back, but you can drop that out of the way and you can use the stage as you like here. There's another function where you can make the backdrop disappear and then come back up again. So if you want to look all formal and presidential, you can stand kind of here and well, I told you this was going to happen. The economy will never recover, that kind of stuff. Thank you, Chris, for the opportunity to show people this particular space. I mean, this is also available publicly, right? This is not a reserved spot.
Yeah, it's still Educators in VR space.
Is that so? I'm very honored.
But anyone can come to those events anytime. Do you mind, Daniel, talking a little bit about one of our favorite topics, moving beyond the PowerPoint?
Absolutely.
And how we might be doing that?
Absolutely. So I could stand here trying to, is Kristen not hearing? Are you trying to get our attention there? Or are you celebrating going beyond the PowerPoint? Okay, yeah. we got a convert. Right. So Chris came up with this phrase that I've borrowed. I lean on heavily. Is going beyond the PowerPoint. I could stand here like on the stage and profess to have all the answers. So I just dismiss this. But that would just be bringing PowerPoint into VR, and VR can be so much more. And actually, Chris, is it okay if we go outside again quickly? I want to show them the demonstration from yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You hang out here. I'll go summon us over there.
Yeah, great.
I'll be right. Yep.
So Chris is going to go outside. We're going to all jump outside again. I want to show you something. We did a workshop yesterday with Tom Furness of the Virtual World Society, where we created, Chris helped me. Oh, here we jump. Okay, lovely. Chris helped me by designing a proper recording that I'm going to play for you now. And it created the stage for, let me bring that up. It created the stage for an interactive, okay, let me see.
Do you want me to pop that up? I got it right here if you want.
I got it.
Cool.
I got the hang of it, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
So you can see, yeah. We were doing an interactive workshop where we were sowing seeds. So we were sowing ideas and seeds. and we wanted to grow ideas out of them. So you see the fertile earth. For growing seeds, you need fertile earth. So if you stand back a little bit and just watch, then you'll see a little miracle happen here on the moon. Boom, Yuya, turn around. Boom.
Nice.
Right there, exactly. And then let me bring up my quick IFX here as well. Let me bring up my notes. Do I bring up my notes? No, it's IFX. Okay. As you can there we go. I'm just going to bring up some. I'm going to make them auto share. There you go. Boom and boom. Right, and you see these little tabs we have here. Just going to make them a little bit bigger. We were using these to hang them, and these are the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I think, Lida, you were here as well. I remember doing this. And we were hanging them in the tree, depending on how easily we thought that they can be acted on. And so very quickly you can see that whilst we're still learning and interacting and collaborating, we're nowhere near a PowerPoint. This is an interactive workshop, and you can pick them up. You can, if you point at the notes, you can pick them up, you can bring them close, you can push them away, you can scale them big, you can scale them small, and you can create your own notes. And this for me is wonderful, because now, rather than you just listening passively, what's the point of being in VR if all you get to do is listen passively? We're actually in here collaborating, and we're doing a group activity around the central tree of life. And now if I play that media a little bit more, and you look behind you or to the sides there, I want to do a little breakout session where we have groups working together, like small groups working together. So I'm just going to run that recording a little further.
You want to pay attention to the dirt mounds? There we go.
Boom. Now we have 4 more. And I could ask you, okay, please break out into groups, maybe 3 per tree, and I'll give you instructions at those trees. You don't need to do that now, but it's showing you an example of how you can do group work, group collaboration. You can do small group work. You can do pair work. I could say to you, okay, in pairs, please choose one of the Sustainable Development Goals and discuss it. Find a bit of space. We'll give you spatial audio. Go and discuss it, and then bring it back for a group discussion. This is much more like an interactive classroom for me. And this
that would
really
be going beyond the PowerPoint, Daniel.
This, exactly. Thank you, Chris. This is going actively going beyond the PowerPoint. And Chris and I, well, Chris is super helpful. If I have an idea, I run it by him and he'll whip something up, and I'm trying to learn myself to do this. But I can, for me, this is one of the most exciting things in VR at the moment. And really that leads in quite nicely to Alex from River here. We ran an event a couple of weeks ago where we brought some of his photogrammetry models in. Now these models are wonderful, but photogrammetry, it's photorealistic. I don't know, are we going to go see some of those models in a different world?
We are, and Daniel, if you want to go ahead and shut your content recording down here, let's blast off into Alex's world with an actual rocket launch in this crater over here behind the building. If you guys want to just pay attention over there, I'm going to get that started. This will be fun, and then we'll head on over to Alex's shop.
Right. I'm gonna watch the rocket launch, Chris, and then I have to jump out.
Okay.
I got a call.
Thanks, Daniel.
So thank you so much. All right.
You bet.
All right.
Here we go.
Take care, guys.
Alex, I got you as a co-host. I'm going to head us on over now to your event. Here we go.
Okay, cheers.
Hang tight, everybody. You're going to black out for just a few seconds. All right, Alex, it's all yours for the next 10 minutes, man. Take it away.
Thanks, Chris. It is always cool to hear you say, I'm about to black out after you've just watched the space rocket launch. So yeah, thanks again for the opportunity of showing some of our photogrammetry assets in Engage. We've been doing stuff with Chris and the team for probably a couple of months now. They've been super helpful every time we want to try and get some of our higher end photogrammetry models into the environments. These guys seem to do some sort of magic and then they just appear on my tablet, which is great. And I think that's part of the enterprise thing, which Engage have got going on, which is amazing. So my background is from the games industry. I used to work at Codemasters making racing games, Colin McRae, Formula One, Dirt Rally. So realism has always been a thing that we've always been trying to push down to the gravel on the wheels, to the graphics as you look out the window. And when VR came along, I was disappointed that VR was so cartoon-like that I wanted to start using photogrammetry to make virtual worlds. So we did a few projects for the UK government and the UK Fire Service, and we ended up making a suite of fire investigation scenarios in room-scale photogrammetry. So photogrammetry is the process of taking thousands of photos of any real-world space, object, or person, and then making a really detailed 3D model from those photos. Sometimes we use laser scans as well to sort of enhance the, but mainly we can get what we need from photos. So Chris, I think I wanted to show some photogrammetry models. We don't want to give everything away because we've got another event coming up in Engage where we're going to talk purely about photogrammetry. But I think if I just bring one of them up, I should be able to do that myself. And we can have a look at, first of all, let's just look at one room, which is a burnt scenario. So following on with the theme. And I'll put it over here so we can go and have a look. Yeah, it's raised off the floor a bit, but feel free just to come and have a look. We've scaled down this model in resolution and texture quite a bit, but we do think after working with Chris, we can bring in a higher resolution model. In our scenarios, which are currently on Vive and a high-end PC, these scenarios have everything that's interactable, and we can pick up the TV, and we can look underneath it, we can see the smoke patterns on the walls, and in the full environment, we can pick up all of these things. That's me jumping around. We can pick up all of these items, look under the bed, and see where the fire started. And at the end of the training can be done with me in the UK and someone in the US, and we can pick things up and look around. But at the end of the training, you get to watch what happened. So you get to see how the fire started. That's your learning outcome. And I think, Chris, later on, maybe in the next event, we'll have it ready, but we're going to have a full scene, probably this scene, with everything interactable. So we can actually do a training session like we do in our platform, but inside Engage.
Great.
So this is a burnt room. Obviously, it's quite messy, but let me just look. Leader, we were talking about historical preservation. Chris, have I got time to show the Abbey?
Let's show the Abbey, man. I love the Abbey.
Okay, cool. So let's bring up the Abbey. This is another one. Let's bring it in the middle. So this was a photogrammetry scan and drone scan of this old Abbey. It's from Kenilworth in Warwickshire, and it has been very much demolished. And I actually went there the other day just to have another look around. They're trying to rebuild it a bit more. But we do specialize in historical preservation as well as first responders, if you like. We have two sort of main areas, training, and we've got a lot of, we do like the historical stuff. And yeah, this is super detailed. So this one, we had a new rig created for this that had 6 cameras, and we walked around this monument and took about 3,000 photos from every angle, and then used reality capture software to churn it all in photogrammetry. And this has been de-lit as well. So I don't know, Chris, if you've got any lights. Sometimes I've put the disco ball on top, and you can see how it reflects.
I got some awesome lights here. In fact, I got a spotlight. Let's do a spotlight on here.
That's probably cool.
Here we go. Look at that.
There you go. Look at that. That's amazing. It still wows me, Chris, seeing that inside Engage every time you show me.
Hey, Alex, can you enlarge that so we can actually like walk in it?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's make it bigger and make it a bit more life size.
Yeah, nice.
That's a bit better.
That's great.
Just move it over there. So yeah, now this is perfect. Look how we're all basically walking around a real world space. So this is what I was talking about, Chris. I think we're going to have some fun making some environments inside here that are going to look so realistic.
I couldn't be happier about that. You know, photogrammetry is my favorite.
Yeah. So, and the detail, yeah, we can clean things up even more.
So, Alex, when is your event that's going to take place in here? If we could give that a shout out, I think it's going to be, and people are going to want to jump on this quickly because I guarantee it's going to sell out.
Yeah, that is with Daniel, who's just left. So it's Educators in VR and River. And I can't remember the date, but I think it might be the 12th of June. It might
I was going to say, I think
to...
it's within 2 weeks. So we're going to have to make another shout out about that. But keep an eye on that on the events calendar, guys. And we'll tweet all of this out and everything. And you're going to hear a lot about it. It's one of the highlight events I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Chris. Really good again to jump in. But when this is over, I'll have to shoot like Daniel as well.
Great. And do you mind, Alex, if we burn this place down here over the next 2 minutes?
Oh, Chris, you can burn away. I know you like to start fires.
You know I like to do this, man. You know, this is one of my favorite. All right, guys, if you want to in fact, Doctor, we might need your services a little bit later, but if you want to come back here to the center of the room, this is probably the best spot right here in the middle. And let's see again what the editor can do.
This is a Chris production.
We're going to keep it a controlled burn, Alex. Is that cool? I mean, you got me covered?
Yeah. I'll watch out. This was played at the start of our event. Chris made it for us. We were completely blown away. Look out the windows as well.
Get out of the way!
Somebody's already called 911. That's good. Watch it. Where's the cats at, Alex? Oh, there they are. There they are.
Oh my God.
They're safe. Go.
Chris, from memory, you need to watch out for that ceiling.
Yeah, you're right. It is getting a little out of control. I think I'm mostly concerned right there with we got insurance, right, Alex?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I should have brought the respirators in. I totally forgot to bring the respirators in. This ceiling. Oh, jeez. Doctor! Where's the doctor?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. All right, guys. There you go. A little fun and engaged. Alex, thank you so much for everything. And honestly, you know, I've been following you guys for years, and it really is like one of my little dreams that we were able to work together after all this time. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chris. I love it, and I'm looking forward to doing more stuff.
Fantastic. All right. Hi, Kirsten. Oh, do you have a question, Kirsten, or are you just waving? No, she's like, no. I love this is one thing I love about VR, right? The body language. It's like you didn't have to say a word. I knew exactly what you were saying with your body language. So cool. And so awesome, too, that we can be here present with each other from all corners of the earth. Michael, let me unmute you, and you're going to take us to some awesome places next. Here we go. Michael Gold Lotus. Here we go. You are now unmuted, Michael. If you want to do an introduction, then I'll take us on over to the 360 room and we can play around over there.
Let's get those. Okay. Well, introduction right now, Chris. Michael McDonald's, originally from London, living in Italy, and founder of the Gold Lotus consultancy, where we help schools and individuals and businesses look at how they can improve the way they teach or learn foreign languages, in particular English, within virtual reality. So we're going to go to the 360 video room, aren't we now, Chris, and get a taste of how you could learn a language over there.
On our way. Blackout time again.
Okay, here we are. Wait for them to trickle through.
It always amuses me to see people dropping from the heavens like rain.
All right. Probably that's about most of them. Excellent. Okay, so we are in the 360 video room, one of the most favorite places I like to visit in Engage. Why? Because of the C word, and I don't mean coronavirus, I mean context, because context is obviously really, really important when learning a foreign language in particular, which is my area of expertise. But I want to give you a sense of how you can maybe apply this, not only just to the way you teach or learn a foreign language, but into any subject, really, if you're an educator or even a business looking at transporting people to different corners of the earth for whatever reason. So we're in the 360 video room. You might have, oh, can I just get has anybody raise hands actually looked at 360 videos on their phone and kind of moved their phone around? Hands in the air. Yes, okay. Has anybody ever been in this 360 video room before in Engage? Hands in the air. Okay. We've got a few first timers here, Chris, so we'll have to hold their hands in case they kind of get blown away a little bit too much. But without further ado, I'm going to load up now a video. And as I'm doing that, I just want to, oh, hang on a minute, I can't see the media viewer. How can I bring that up, Chris?
Did I not give you co-host? Let me double check, Michael.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want to take
there you go. You're good. You're good.
Oh,
now.
there we go.
You got
Wonderful.
it. You got God mode now.
Guess what? Right, two different places we're going to go to right now to give you a taste of how you can apply this content to different types of learners. Because that's what we're doing here. Is, you know, sometimes people say, oh, well, what's the app to learn English, or what's the app to learn Spanish or Portuguese? Well, just because there isn't one specifically out there tailored to your needs doesn't need to say that you can't adapt this content to achieve whatever goals you have. So we're going to go right now to one of the highest waterfalls on Earth, and it is in South America, Venezuela. So I'm going to press play. Right now, Chris, do you want to say something before we do that?
I'm going to just bring a stone in to stand on
Sure.
too, because some people do get a little nervous of heights. So, but go ahead and start playing it. I'll bring a stone in for us.
Okay. So, hopefully most of you can see that. Hands in the air if you can see this. Good. Okay, you've got the music playing.
So if you want to stand on a stone over here, if the heights bother you, this will help to stand here.
Which has almost no roads.
Excellent, yeah.
The closest
So yeah,
civilized
look up,
place
if I just stand in
is
front of you, look up over
600
there, you can see
kilometers away.
the highest waterfall, certainly in South America, almost possibly in the world. So what I'm doing as a language teacher now, I'm asking the students, okay, what can you see? And the student needs to use the present continuous. For example, we are flying, we are ascending into the sky, we are about to rise through the clouds, for example. These are all expressions that are coming out as we're talking in context. And of course, when you learn a language, it's really difficult maybe to get an understanding of these locations because you're just looking at books. But as Chris has brought in over there, you've got what looks to be a pterodactyl. I don't know my dinosaurs too well, but the pterodactyl is soaring above the clouds at 300 meters. So, you know, when you're using this content, if you are an educator, it's all about trying to get a bit deeper, not just, you know, kind of the wow factor. The wow factor will wear off. The audio and scene will wear off very quickly. It's about how you can use that to teach grammar, to teach vocabulary. So, as I said before, superlatives, the highest. Verbs, ascending, soaring, flying, moving, all of those verbs are coming out now in context. And one final thing before we move on to another video. You can hear the audio guide there.
In this geographic region and nowhere else on the planet.
Good. So what I could do, I could actually pause that video right there. I could take it back 10 seconds and say, what did you hear the audio guide say? What did you hear the narrator say in the video? And you could test the audio skills as well, just exposing them to different accents as well. So it's just a quick flavor there of the 360 video room with a nature context. But we're going to take it a step further, aren't we, Chris? We're going to take him to, or actually, we're going to take him, I think, to the Serengeti. Has anybody been on the safari before? Hands up. Any safari? No. Yes, Felix, you have. You lucky man. That's like a bucket list thing, isn't it? But not many people can get to a safari. But we're going to just type in now. And this is what Engage allows you to do. You've got the 360 video room, but you can access the media tab. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just searching. I think it's elephants. And we're going to search 360. And this is now pulling in the video from YouTube that you can stream in real time. So we can wait for those to load up. Here we go. So should load up right about now. Give it a moment. And here we are, topping up those vitamin D levels under the sun. And I'm just going to use the laser feature here, squeezing my middle finger on the Oculus Quest controller and my index finger, and you should be able to see the laser. So again, I'm drawing the students' attention to the potential vocabulary that we can draw out in this context. So you could say to the student, what can you see here? And the student say, the elephant is walking. You could say, yes, but the elephant is approaching. It is walking towards me. A nice preposition there, towards me, in our direction. So you could jump forward into the video again, just to demonstrate how you can adapt this content to the needs of the learner. I've just jumped forward there in the video, and it's really easy to do. And what I've done is, and I love a sticky note. Chris, you know that already, but what we've got here, you could say, you could bring in a sticky note, for example, for trunk, and you could get the students to annotate. So maybe you've kind of covered this vocabulary in a previous lesson. You could say, okay, well, where's the trunk? They can control it, and they can kind of stick it on the parts of the elephant where the trunk. You say, no, that's not the trunk, that's the tusk. There he is in the center there. So you could do some annotations as well in this context, but you could take it a step further. Let me now go into the menu. I go to IFX. I click search. Oh, actually, it's on page 1 of the IFX. And there's an elephant. So if you thought you were getting close to the elephants in the video, you've just taken it to a whole new level there. So what you can do, you can kind of make use of the space, walk around. You can grab that sticky note again, maybe do a bit more annotation. Maybe you could break the sticky note up into 5 separate sticky notes, T-R-U-N-K, and get them to jumble the words up and put it onto the IFX object there, the elephant. You could even then draw the attention to the anatomy closer still, so you could hand that IFX around to people. I don't know if it's on shared. I think everybody, let's click auto share right now. So I could give that elephant, for example, to maybe leader. There you go. If you want to just grab that, maybe see if you could do that. Good. And you could say to the student, for example, what's this object here? What's this white thing? There are 2 of them. And they'll say trunk, and you say no, it's a tusk. There are 2 tusks. It's a countable noun. So there we go. You could make the elephant a bit smaller, just put it in the palm of their hand, maybe even turn it around 180 degrees to get a bit of a closer look at how the tusk is, the trunk is moving. There are 2 nostrils. Here we go. They're bringing out this vocabulary that ordinarily I might not focus on the nostrils, but because we've got it in our hands right now, I'm sorry, quite close to your eyes there.
You just need to click the little shareable icon, then she can grab it, Michael.
Shareable icon.
If you aim at the orb, there's a little shareable icon there. If you click that, now it's shareable.
Good.
There you go. She's got it. She's got it.
What did you do today? Oh, we just passed an elephant around in a Serengeti. Good. So yes, that's it. And as Daniel and Chris touched on earlier, just to wrap up, it's much more than just PowerPoint presentations, isn't it? Nothing wrong with PowerPoint. There's nothing like a bit of PowerPoint now and again. But if you want to delve a bit deeper into a concept, into a context, particularly for language learning, then why not try some of this content in Engage 360 video rooms, sticky notes, and IFX. Chris?
Great. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for coming out and demonstrating that for us. And I got to say, keep an eye on Michael. He has a bunch of lessons planned in Engage, and there's nothing like having an English acquisition class in VR with Michael. It's absolutely amazing. I speak English fluently, obviously, but I like to attend these because it's a heck of a ride. It's always awesome. Thank you, Michael, for everything that you bring to VR. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Felix, let's head on over to the vet clinic, and then I will make you co-host, and you can lead us from there. Here we go, guys. We're going to black out again. Actually, this one's a hidden room. This is a custom level, so let me find it here. Where are we? Colorado State University. Here we go. Veterinary Hospital. All right, let's wait for everybody to load in here, Felix.
Yeah, this looks familiar here.
Yes, indeed. All right. People are still dropping in. Obviously loading the new level because this isn't available to the public at all yet. All right, 11 of us. Here we go. Got more dropping in. Perfect. So anyway, everybody, I want to introduce you to Felix. Colorado State University is doing some veterinary work in VR and have chosen the Engage platform to do this in. And I'm excited about this. And this is kind of a cool day, Felix, because we just brought in the animated dog on top of everything else. So this is a work in progress. We're going to go ahead and go through that whole animated sequence, but to be honest, we haven't even tested this with multi-users yet, so we're kind of taking a risk here, but I'm all about taking risks. So if you want to maybe, Felix, go over all the basics of how you're using Engage, and then towards the end, let's activate it and bring in the animated dog and all that fun stuff.
That sounds great. Well, thank you very much. Well, thank you for having me here, and thank you for being here for us, because I had absolutely very little exposure to VR until about 4 weeks ago, which is when I contacted the Engage team. And within 4 weeks, we have created this, and they have taught me how to at least do some of these things, you know, set the floor height right and those type of things. One of the problems that we faced with the coronavirus was that we switched our student education. So I'm a professor at Colorado State University, teach veterinary students and specifically orthopedics, so broken bones, that type of thing. And so we were forced to switch to online education. And then the question is, well, how do you do that? And that's where the VR came in. And, you know, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you have attended a now 50-minute lecture in the last, you know, few years and have paid attention for 50 minutes? Not a lot of hands going up. That is because you probably haven't done a lot of these VR lectures. And that's one of the things that's amazing for us, because our students, when we do a Zoom call or something like that, they are doing all sorts of things besides paying attention to us. So that is one of the things that the name Engage is just perfect for this platform. So I think that's one huge feature. But then the other part is also for us to be able to interact with them. So having them be able to be the veterinarian. So they're training to be a veterinarian, and we sometimes do role plays, you know, before we were forced to work remote. But it's very hard for people to put themselves into the doctor costume. So I today put my doctor costume on, but I have another avatar that is a client. So when we do this with the students, we have the students put the doctor costume on, and we play the clients, and then we can role play, and they actually believe it instead of looking at me and knowing that I'm just playing. So it's very real, and that is one of the things that's just amazing about this. Chris, any questions, anything else that I should talk about?
No, it's a great intro. Thank you, Felix.
Okay, so let me show you first the features that we have created so far. It's so one of the things we like to do is we like to talk with our students about how do we interpret X-rays. And so then we would say, well, so here's your X-ray, and exactly what we just heard, that's just one of the amazing features. Oops, no, I got them wrong again, my buttons. See, I'm a beginner at this, but I'll be like, hey, what is this here to my students, right? And they'll be using their laser pointers and we'll be saying, well, I don't know what that is, but I know what that is. So we can do this anatomy idea, and I loved your idea about using sticky notes and having them place on it. But that's one of the things that we frequently do is look at X-rays and having them explain things. Then some other features is we have a bone model, for example, and so that bone model, I can pass this around, and now you can grab it. I think so, right? Did I share it?
Oh, you did. You're a master. Look at that. Yeah.
So, and then we can ask them, well, what is the disease? Can you take a look at it and tell me what's the disease? Because there's something wrong with that. And then one of the other features we have is, and this one here was where I really enjoyed Alex's presentation, if we can create this in a more three-dimensional way, then we can have the students actually look at a whole skeleton in 3D. So those are just some of the quick features. I know we're kind of running low on time, and I want to show you the coolest thing ever. So I have tried this today. And now, Chris, I don't know how I'm going to make all of them disappear.
Oh, actually, I've got you covered. I'm going to go ahead and do that for you right now. Let me delete all of those. There we go.
So this is one of the things that I was really hoping to do is, how do I get the students to see a dog that's coming into the clinic that is actually presenting with a lameness? So the dog has a problem in one of the legs. And so I'm going to start
crossing our
session.
fingers and hoping this, yes, I like where this is going. Okay. Here we go.
So now the clinic is full. Look at that. Now it's like a real clinic. I love it, like the background noise and everything. And so here's our patient. And so now I would ask my students to say, well, why don't you go ahead, why don't you observe the gait of the dog? And it worked earlier.
I got it. There we go.
There we go. Perfect. So, and now you can look at the dog, and you can see how he is not walking quite right. And so this dog has a left hind limb lameness. And I would ask my students, well, what do you see? How do you know that this dog is lame on the left leg? And just like, this is so real. This is just like a real dog, because it actually came off the video of a real dog. I'm so excited about this.
It might have been because I started the scenario. Do you want me to go to examine?
Oh, yeah, let's do examine.
Okay, here
exactly.
we go, examine.
And so now we can go, and I can ask my students, well, what do you think? What would you do next? What is your next step? And that's where we're still working on the next steps as far as what do we do. But what we so far have done is we have them tell them, well, put your fingers where you would want to examine the area. So, for example, this dog, they might want to examine the knee, or we want them to do something like this, show us where would you put your hands. And yeah, I mean, this is it's awesome for us. So it was a fantastic experience so far, and I have no idea where it's going to go, but I know it's going to go far. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, man, this is so cool, Felix. This is one of my highlights of the day. Thank you so much. High five.
No, thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm trying to think, where do we want to fit? I don't even know what time it is. Time has lost me in VR. Let me go ahead and unmute everybody and see if does anybody have any questions about what we've experienced today so far? Any questions from the audience or comments? Okay, Anton, let me unmute you there, bud. Here we go. All right, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
So I'm relatively new to all this, and I just want to thank you, Chris. This has been an amazing experience. Just been fabulous. Felix and Michael, everybody, it's great. I'm really curious about, where do I go to get more information, to be able to author stuff like this, to be able to engage myself?
Yes.
And, where can I go with that?
Yeah, great question. So the best place to go is engagevr.io. engagevr.io. You can learn everything you need to know about the platform there. I should also mention that every Wednesday, our crew out in Ireland runs a hands-on workshop on exploring Engage. You'll see that on our event calendar, which is also accessible from the front page of our website. Keep an eye out for every Wednesday. It's great to go in and join the crew and just learn and ask questions.
And I'll definitely be checking in on educators in VR as well. So.
Great. And here's my business card here as well. I've got email. Yeah. So it's cmadsen@immersivevreducation.com. My Twitter handle is @deep_rifter. That's an old school 2013 Oculus Rift name that we had to have for our forums. Deep_rifter is my Twitter handle. I post a ton of stuff about the platform on there as well.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from anybody before we wrap up? Okay, great. thank you so much for everybody who are attending, and I hope you all are looking as forward to the weekend as I am. Cheers, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all in future events, and take care. We'll see you. Thanks everybody that gave presentations today. You're all awesome.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everybody.